Welcome, everyone, to the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year show, where we get to spotlight and talk with some of our favorite MSOYs and what they're doing with our community and their journey along the way inside the program. So joining us here today, we have Monica Bassett. Welcome to the show, Monica.
Hi, Megan. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
No, absolutely. Can you just take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I am a military spouse of over 9 years. I have two very spirited young ladies, and I have, like many spouses, shifted my sales in my career field, and within the last several years have really just devoted my time and energy and my family's time and energy to charitable work and volunteering.
And can you tell us what your MSOY title is?
I am the 2022 Armed Forces Insurance Army Spouse of the Year.
How exciting. And what were you nominated for when you were nominated last year?
I was nominated for the work that I had been doing at our previous installation, and it really focused on our military families and getting them resources and highlighting nonprofits and starting initiatives and programs that would benefit the young military families that we have in our installation, because as we all know, our military is young, our Army is young. We need a lot of soldiers, and they come in and they have families, and sometimes they're just lacking in resources. So that's really what I focused on.
No, and that is so needed. We see a lot of times it's our military spouse community that comes together to support, especially our younger soldiers, our younger service members, our younger families. Because there's been a time where we've been in their shoes and we know what it's like, and we want to make it better for the people coming behind us. So as we know, sometimes passions and advocacy paths kind of change along the ways. What is it that you work on now?
So I know that paths in career, education, and our passions just kind of shift and change along the way. But I will say that what I'm working on now is more of an extension and more of a zoned in passion that I have. So at our last previous duty station, like we were chatting about what I was nominated for, I worked a lot with the underprivileged, the underserved, younger families. And some of that was food insecurity. Other was getting them adequate school supplies or extra clothing or a coat drive or a sock drive, and doing those resources for them. But now, like I was saying, it's more of a zoned in passion. I'm working a lot with food insecurity. I'm standing up a standalone food pantry on the installation for our military families. And so I wouldn't say it's completely shifted or changed. It's just really found its zone.
No, absolutely. And how did you get started? So food insecurity, how did you kind of gravitate towards that food insecurity purpose? And can you walk us a little bit through about what your journey was and how that kind of narrowed in, and then starting that food pantry on your installation now? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I really want to hear about that and highlight that amazing work that you're doing with that.
Yes, Megan, thank you. So it really started as a call to action. It was a push to action after seeing so many families just struggling during high peaks of COVID, spousal unemployment, long periods of time waiting for their PCS household goods to come in. They were really struggling and financially tapped out, and they weren't able to put food on the table or nutritious meals for their kids on the table. So I started emergency care baskets out of my garage, and that drew a lot of focus and drew a lot of attention, and also drew a lot of the community to come in and help, because I couldn't do it alone. So it was a big community effort. It is still ongoing in that installation. I'm really happy and really proud to say that they're continuously still helping families every week. And then I went to DC when I was nominated for MSOY, when I was receiving my title. And I just felt like a fish out of water there. There were so many amazing people there and so many amazing things that they did. I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. However, this amazing MSOY came up to me and said she believed in me and believed in my mission and had a proposal for me, and she was going to get me space at my new installation. I will say I didn't really believe her first. But lo and behold, I have the space, and she came through, and she has been an amazing support to me and to the community at large. And it really drew a focus into what MSOY really is for people, because if it wasn't for this person believing in me and helping me make certain connections and pointing me in the right direction, I don't know if there would be a full standalone pantry that is going to open here in November. And so that is how it all started. That is how my previous initiatives and programs that I've started have grown and extended into other installations. And that's where I'm at now. And now I have Armed Forces Bank and different realtors wanting to come together as a community to help my initiative. So it's really awesome.
No, that is so cool. And I love hearing about all of that. So food insecurity, as we know, if people follow along Blue Star Families, they put out a survey every year that kind of highlights and talks about some of the big kind of pain points and data points of our military community and what's going on within our little-ish kind of bubble. And we see frequently that, PCSing being one of the top 5 stressors because of the frequent relocations and the expenses that come with that. And then finances is usually up there in that top 5 as well because of just how expensive some things are, whether it comes from PCSing or it comes from our housing, sometimes getting stationed in higher cost of living areas that we're not prepared for. And right now with the current market and inflation and figuring all of that out, can you tell us some of those data points, because I know that you've got them, about the food insecurity within our community and what the DoD released this past summer that kind of correlates and supports why what you're doing is so needed?
Absolutely, Megan. So, as you were saying, this summer in July, the Department of Defense released that 24% of military families are facing food insecurity. Now, what I think is really important to note about that is that that survey, those data, that research was October of 2020 through January of 2021. That was pre 9% inflation. That was pre gas prices skyrocketing in the middle of a high PCS move season. That was pre baby formula shortage and price of groceries doubling. So I can't even fathom the percentage that it's at now. I'm currently at this duty station. And again, that 24% is 1 in 4. So if you think of yourself sitting at a dinner table with your girlfriends, 1 in 4 of you would not be able to supply that nutritious food to your family. And currently at the installation that I'm at now, while it is small, and it is top heavy, and it has smaller enlisted, there's still over 650 junior enlisted soldiers and families at this installation. So that's over 150 families that could be silently suffering. And that is why the food pantry is important. And it's important to reach out to our community, because food insecurity does not skip over an installation because it's small. It doesn't skip over an installation because it is predominantly top heavy. Food insecurity is military wide in every branch, in every installation. And it's very important for us to keep our blinders open, for us to see what is actually happening in our community and to reach out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you make some really great points there that, those that need the help and have that food insecurity issue, that there's no defined criteria of who fits that mold, that it could literally be anyone. As you said, pick a couple of your friends. Which one of you is it going to be that this week that can't afford groceries for your family? Puts into some really good perspective of trying to understand how big this problem is, and just how much the things that you're doing, like establishing a food pantry on your installation, is so needed and so important, and how we all just really need to get behind something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned it. No, you're good. So you mentioned it a little bit in one of your previous answers, but how has this AFI MSOY community supported you in doing the amazing work that you're doing?
As I did say in a previous message, I don't know if I would have had the energy to start a new project in the first 2 weeks of moving to a new duty station if it wasn't for the MSOY community. I was in the midst of moldy boxes and a terrible move, coming off of 7-week PCS, and I was just inundated with confidence and support from my MSOYs that were like, you've got this, we've got space for you, come meet this person, and this is what we think you should do. And that cheerleading, that support, I think encourages all of us when we get that additional support from someone that believes in our mission, in our cause, in our passion, in ourselves. It really energizes us to say, yes, I can do it. I might not be able to find my pan to make dinner. However, I'm going to tackle building a pantry from the ground up. So, I will say that the MSOY community is something that I was given. It was a gift that was given to me. That's how I think of it. And the people in it are just beautiful. They are fierce and they are smart and they are supportive and they are knowledgeable. And the fact that they will reach out and give a helping hand and say, come on, I've got this way for you, is just amazing. So I honestly can't speak higher of the MSOY community. I don't know what else to say except they are amazing. They are phenomenal and they are a gift to anyone who is willing to embrace them and to take what they are sharing with you and share it with the rest of the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you said it so very well there. I mean, our community, just our military spouse community in general, is amazing. And the things that you can get done when you just ask a simple question is amazing. Somebody within you'd be surprised at the number of people who might know somebody or know something or be able to connect you with somebody just by asking a simple question or raising your hand for something. But no, the power of our community is absolutely amazing. So as we wrap up today, I wanted to ask you this. What is a piece of advice that you would give to other spouses who are trying to make a change in their community and maybe don't know where to start or what to do? Like, what would you offer to them?
I'd offer to them, I think it's a couple of steps. One, just take the plunge. Just get involved somewhere. You might have your passion, but you need to get involved somewhere to start letting that passion grow or be contagious to others. And because step number 2 is find your person. But you're not going to find your person or find your MSOY or find your community if you didn't take step 1 to start getting yourself out there. Because once you find that person, that community, those people, your tribe, then you can start building even bigger things, because I truly believe that missions like changing and creating impact aren't solo missions. They are missions to be done with your community. They are missions to be done with your friends, with people whose passions align with you. So get involved, just jump in and find your person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Such good words to end today. I think for our community, a lot of times you think if we're going to do something, we have to go big. It's like go big or go home mentality. A lot of times we have to remember, like, a lot of things don't change with this big explosion thing. It's usually one little spark that somebody does or says or pursues, which makes the big ripple effects that leads to the big change. So definitely some good words of advice there for those looking to make a change and don't know where to get started. So thank you for that. And thank you everybody else for joining us today. Thank you, Monica, for being here and sharing your story with us. And join us again next time as we talk with another AFI MSOY as to what it is they're doing, how they got started, and what's happening now. Until then, take care of each other.